So what if memory loss doesn't mean the loss of a person's soul? What if even in dementia, something sacred still shines through? And today I want to explore dementia, not just medically, but spiritually. I would like to share that my mom has been diagnosed with dementia. It was not something that just cropped out of the blue. It was for a long time. Maybe she was showing signs, but it went unnoticed. And now she has been diagnosed with dementia. And I'm still thankful and grateful for the times that she can recognize us. And I pray to God to give her quick recovery. So when you're walking alongside someone whom you love and who has dementia, it's painful and confusing, but as I've learned more, I've found deep comfort in spiritual teachings from different faiths and traditions that say the soul remains even when the mind fades. So, what is dementia, spiritually speaking? Dementia affects the brain, memory, thinking, personality. But many spiritual traditions say we are not just our minds. We are souls, eternal, whole. Even when our bodies, brains change. And there is a quote, "Know thou that the soul of man is exalted above and is independent of all infirmities of body or mind." Baha'u'llah. This means that even if someone forgets who you are, their spirit still remembers love. It's still there beneath the confusion. And many caregivers, maybe you too, have had moments where a loved one who hasn't spoken in days suddenly sings a hymn or smiles during prayer or holds your hand with deep recognition. And these aren't just memories, they are spiritual connections. I believe those moments are glimpses of the soul shining through. Theologian John Swinton says, dementia forces us to rethink identity. If we are not just our memories, then what are we? Maybe we are love, maybe we are presence. Maybe we are who we are because we are known by others and known by God. Caring for someone with dementia can feel like a spiritual practice in itself. You learn patience, surrender, deep compassion. You're not just managing symptoms, you're nurturing the soul. Caring for someone with dementia is not a burden. It's an opportunity to demonstrate love, says Guido Boa. If you're walking this path, please know you're doing sacred work. And every mile, every smile, every gentle touch, every time you choose love over frustration, that's spiritual. And yes, you matter too. Don't forget to care for your soul in this journey as well. Dementia may change the mind, but it can never erase the soul. And many caregivers find solace in spiritual practices and personal reflections. For instance, one caregiver shared, "I work on poems every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. to noon. No matter what, the writing has been instrumental in helping me get through this past year and a half of stress, grief, and the long goodbye that so often colors the dementia experience." And this highlights the importance of finding personal meaning and spiritual expression amidst amidst caregiving challenges. And there's spiritual interpretations of dementia. In many spiritual or religious traditions, dementia is not just seen as a medical condition, but also as a soul-level journey. Some perspectives include, for example, the soul remains intact, even if the mind is deteriorating. Many spiritual beliefs hold that the soul, the essence of the person, is still whole and present. And this can be comforting to caregivers who feel like their loved one is gone emotionally or cognitively. And for example, there is the thought of a return to purity or innocence. Some traditions view late-stage dementia as a kind of spiritual regression, a return to childlike state, or a shading of ego and identity in preparation for death or transition. And there are other people who also think of it as something karmic or life path perspective. In some spiritual or metaphysical beliefs, example reincarnation, karma, dementia might be interpreted as a part of a soul's journey for learning, healing, or even balancing energy from past lives. So when it comes to spiritual care in dementia, even in clinical and caregiving settings, many professionals now emphasize the importance of spiritual well-being for people with dementia. For example, familiar hymns, prayers, chants, or rituals can often evoke emotional or even cognitive responses in people who have lost much of their memory. Spiritual presence, like quiet companionship, meditation, or simply holding space, can be deeply calming. Non-verbal spiritual practices like music, going into the nature, touch, can often reach people in ways words no longer can. And sometimes there could be a sense of the sacred. For example, many caregivers describe moments with loved ones that feel deeply spiritual: a sudden smile, a long gaze, a touch that seems full of meaning. These are often described as moments where something deeper breaks through, and are sometimes seen as moments of divine connection or soul recognition. So while spiritual perspectives can be comforting, it's important not to blame someone's condition on past sins, karma, or spiritual failure. And this can add guilt or shame to the person. So use spiritual ideas to bypass the real emotional and medical challenges of dementia. There is a connection between dementia and spiritualism for many. It's a way to find meaning, comfort, and continued connection. It can be a lens through which caregivers and loved ones process grief, maintain hope, and feel that even amid loss, something sacred remains. So there are also spiritual perspectives on dementia. For example, in the Baha'i faith, the Baha'i teachings emphasize that the soul remains intact despite the loss of mental and physical faculties. Baha'u'llah assures us, know thou that the soul of man is exalted above and is independent of all infirmities of body or mind. And this perspective encourages caregivers to focus on spiritual service and virtues like patience and compassion. In the Christian perspective, John T. Dunlap, in his book, Finding Grace in the Face of Dementia, suggests that through dementia, individuals and caregivers can grow spiritually. If you're going to honor God in and even through dementia, we first need to know God in an intimate way. He also notes that comfort is more important than the length of life, highlighting the spiritual journey over the physical one. And in some theological insight, John Swinton, a theologian, author of Dementia, Living in the Memories of God, challenges the notion that personhood is solely tied to cognitive function. He introduces the concept of contextualism, advocating for a broader understanding of identity that includes spiritual dimensions beyond the brain's physical state. So if you have experienced a spiritual moment with someone facing memory loss, share it in the comments. Let's talk. Let's support each other. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and those you love. And I will see you in the next one with much love. Take care and God bless.